whatever the name of it is. They actually have a bald eagle watching.
Okay. Yep, hold on 1 second. We're gonna start the meeting.
Okay. Want to call the regular meeting of the Oxford Planning and Zoning Commission for Tuesday, February 1st to order. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call start. Pat Cotrell,
Brett Olbrys, Steve McCary,
Jessica Pennell?
Dan Wall,
quorum. Let me seat Josh Dykstra. Okay, public hearings.
recess public hearings. The following public hearing is recessed to Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. Number 1, Z-21-131, 60 Oxford Road, Pitcon Holdings.
Okay. Are there any new public hearings?
None.
Future public hearings.
The following public hearings will be held on Tuesday, February 15th, 2022. Z-22-014, applicant and owner Pitcon Holdings, for a proposed text amendment to the zoning regulations, Article 3, general regulations, amendment of section 3-24, parking general requirements.
Is there any others?
Then number 2, Z-22-015, applicant and owner Mark Deslauriers, for a proposed text amendment to the zoning regulations, Article 5, new section 5.3.5, Article 10, new section 10.12, and amend Article 17-2-1.
Let's see, regular meeting business. Do we have any amendments to the agenda?
No.
Audience of citizens, do you have anyone who would like to speak to something that is not on the agenda? Anyone online?
We're good.
Okay. Correspondence, do we have any correspondence?
Nope.
Okay. Do you have any old business?
Matters on which a public hearing was held? None.
Old business, other matters?
None.
New business?
Scheduled public hearing? None.
Okay, new business, other.
Application Z-22-019, 2 Pheasant Run Road, Lot 1R, owner 589 Investments LLC, PO Box 506, Oxford, Connecticut, applicant Caesar and Esma Salmani, 43 Eagle View Road, Southbury, Connecticut, for a site plan to construct a 30,000 square foot warehouse facility.
That space. Thank you, commissioners. For the record, Michael Lambert, professional engineer with Civil 1, 43 Sherman Hill Road. Here on behalf of the applicant, who's also on Zoom. So our property, as mentioned, is 2 Pheasant Run Road, part of the Pheasant Run Business Park that's off of Willenbrook. As you pull into Willenbrook, we're the first lot on the right. Before it was, this project was kind of before this commission, the Wetland Commission back in early 2020 for a excavation permit to be able to fill in the parcel, to be able to build a pad site on this property. The fill's been brought in and now it's ready to get developed as they're proposing tonight. The total parcel size is 5.05 acres. There was wetlands kind of to the east and the southwest. There is a detention basin that is on the property that does take water from Pheasant Run. We went through this with the Wetland Commission last month. It was able to receive approval from them. But for our site that we're looking to do is a 30,000 square foot building. It's going to have a small 500 square foot office space. It's really just for the use of the business. But we're going to be able to come in into the property from the driveway location that's kind of near the inside or the outside curve of the road. It was the same location that was originally approved during the subdivision approval of this development. We've got a long driveway that kind of meanders into the site because there is a 11-foot elevation difference between the road and our site because it does drop off quite significantly. As you pull in, you're gonna have the office space right there, a few parking spaces, and then the rest of the parking area is actually being closed to the fence for protection reasons and security measures. But as we kind of go through it, so obviously when we're circling around the building, we're gonna have pavement through all 4 sides, have easy circulation. We've got parking kind of at the front of the building, parking at the rear, and we do have some outside storage areas at the rear of the site for use of the business. Now looking at creating a storm drainage plan. As I mentioned before, between the roadway kind of comes down our driveway to our building, it's 11-foot difference drop in elevations. So we do have a it was a 6% driveway grade going down the hill. Coming in, we do have a series of catch basins kind of surrounding the site being able to collect all the storm water. And then the last catch basin that we have is going to be a water quality structure to be able to provide the appropriate measures before discharging into the detention basin. Through our calculations of the site development, there is no modification that need to be done to the detention basin. It's going to function as it is today and still provide zero increase in runoff from our site. We've gone through back and forth with Nathan Young a few times during the wetland process and the WPCA process. We've addressed, I believe, all their concerns. The only outstanding item that they had for us from their letter from January 25th was number 3, adequate landscaping supplied on the street. They just recommend to the street trees that we were showing on our landscape plan along the street. It kind of appeared that it was over the Eversource electrical easement that's up there. You can easily shift those over. It was more of the center point of the tree. Didn't print on the plans that we had printed out, but we'll make sure that when those trees are planted, they are located outside of that utility. We also have plan from Claris, kind of showing the elevations. It's gonna be really your kind of standard run-of-the-mill industrial building, fits in with the industrial park that's out there. So 150 feet by 200 feet. It's a single-story structure with a sloping roof going to the front and the rear of the building. Open to any questions that anyone may have.
Mrs. Cross, what are you using this for?
Storage and warehouse.
Kind of storage, what is it, self-storage or what? What do you think about it?
It's kind of good to determine. So we've got warehousing, storage areas that are going to be within the building, so it's.
Well, according to your paperwork here, you write that you for self-storage. Doesn't it, you're putting down a warehouse on your application, but actually self-storage. And we don't allow that, nothing in that area without manufacturing distribution in a warehouse.
It's.
With all due respect, if you don't know what it's going to be used for, how can we use it? That's what we have to take.
At this time, we were just looking at it from a storage facility and.
Well, you can never store, you can never store it, so without some of that distribution or manufacturing inside it, you just can't have an empty warehouse. That's far away, so, you know.
Yeah.
What's the article on that? Is you have it?
Yeah, it's, page 104, section 9815, special exceptions, and then you go down to 9.52 and 9853. I'm sorry, 92 and 91.
What's the actual text? Can you read it, please?
What section is that, Commissioner?
On page 104, section 98.5, special exception.
98.5?
Yeah, and the warehouse provided that they are a component of the corporate or business, office, or manufacturing use. Did anybody tell you that when they put this application in? That self-storage is not in this area?
Well, it's warehousing is not allowed without manufacturing. Does anyone online have any comment or anything? No question on that?
Not at this moment.
The applicant. And you're representing, yeah.
I can circle back with our applicant and.
Why don't we then
Discussion with the-
table this until we get some clarification? I will think so.
Do you want to table it or, I mean, we haven't done anything yet. Because,
That's true, that may not.
I mean, what's the difference, you know what I mean? You table it, you start a clock, things like that.
Hmm.
And now we're getting into dates and things like that.
So he can withdraw his application?
You can withdraw it, you already paid the fees and everything like that. Obviously, we're not gonna, you know, scam you for the fees or anything
Yeah,
if
they
something
gave me a check
happens.
for 10,000, it's still in my drawer.
Do you know what I mean? When you talk to somebody and, you know, whoever you have to talk to, or whoever here at the town has to talk to, the applicant, you know, and then we can go from there. If that's what the applicant wants to do, rather than start the clock and then start getting into that kind of stuff. I mean, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, I think that's.
I mean, either way, if you withdraw it, we're gonna, you know, if you have your answer, it'll be on the next agenda. If we table it, it'll be on the next agenda. It's just a matter of, now we're gonna start counting days.
Um,
I should be talking to you because it's gonna be ultimately up to them.
um,
I mean, here's the thing, or we can table it and they can.
Well,
you can
either
decide.
way, nothing's going to happen tonight.
Right.
So, I mean, I think it's in your best interest to simply withdraw it, because as Jessica said, the time will start if we table it. And at this point, basically, you just presented something to us, we listened, we gave you some feedback. And now I think you should go speak to the applicant about next steps, based on what Commissioner Zabras identified in the zoning regulations.
And you can touch base with Ms. Pennell or Mr. McCary to get you any more information you may need, or the applicant may need.
all right.
to proceed with this.
We'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, so I just have to provide you guys with a letter saying that we'll withdraw recent expiration.
That's
Right,
fine.
or just- yeah.
Then you could write that now if you want.
You can email.
Whatever, doesn't matter.
Does the applicant have anything to say about this?
They didn't want to say anything earlier.
No, I think at this point, say, I don't know if, but at this point, we're Mike, and then we'll go.
Okay. I can't really hear.
Yeah, I'll be on the phone with her afterwards.
I'm sure.
We'll go that route, but before we do, is there any other questions as far as the,
It's just, conformance with our regulations is the primary issue here. I mean, certainly your plans and everything are fine. I mean, it's, you know, just looking at them, it's a matter of, you know, the actual use is what's questionable.
Commissioner Zabras, just a quick question. Did you see anything, where did it say self-storage? I mean, I could see it in the photo, like in the picture, in the diagram, but where in here did it say self-storage?
It doesn't in the application.
It doesn't say it.
Over the warehouse.
Yeah, but I could tell from the diagram, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
you are aware that there was a approved self-storage facility in Oxford back in 2019?
No, I'm not aware.
So
Yeah.
there is.
And if there was, I
Approved
mean,
and a built self-storage facility in Oxford. I forget the exact address, but
Yeah,
there is an approved.
Well, just the sun was done overlooked before, then we were gonna overlook it this time.
If it was overlooked.
If it was overlooked.
right, we'd have to look back at that application and how it was processed. But that was prior to the election, so that was with the previous. Yeah,
Okay.
I need that back.
Page 13 of the regs explains.
Page 13.
Well,
It says warehousing and storage, then it kicks you over to another page, A3. It says associated with component manufacturing or corporate business use.
But it's books are good to have.
I know, I forgot mine tonight, unfortunately.
Secondary, should have it with you all the time.
There-
You're right.
Okay,
No, you're right. You're right.
okay, I think we're all set.
Yeah.
You're drawing.
Then withdraw, right?
Yes. We'll get
Well-
clarification for
Yeah.
next meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. We'll see you next time.
Do we have anything for zoning enforcement?
I do, I have actually one thing that's kind of on my mind.
Okay,
So we have a package store coming over to Oxford Road for the food. And then we have the one over by Dollar General that we just approved.
That was the one.
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So we have a special permit on file for a package store in Tommy Case Plaza by the Subway, and a Chinese restaurant. So I had an applicant today that wants to put one there possibly. So now you're gonna have two within like 150 feet from each other. And the one that we approved got submitted today to the state of Connecticut for their approval. So the special permit, which I have here, was for a package store. Now, I don't know, all special exceptions go with the land. But this was for a permit for a package store, and this permit was taken out of there and gone to another facility, another place in Oxford. So now I don't know if this special exception is still valid there.
That might be a legal question, I would think.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know
The
exactly what you're saying, that,
Is we're gonna have two, Pat, like, you know,
right, if you, well, as far as, the state has no distance
Right.
requirements.
well, there's 11 states that do. We are not one of them.
Connecticut is not one of them.
But it is up in the state statutes, it's up to the local authority.
Yeah,
You could.
and we have nothing.
Right, but you could, even though it's
We
not in the
could.
regs, you can still say,
Make a note, maybe when we rewrite.
you
the
know, you
regs,
want
but,
them
you know,
500 feet or whatever.
Yeah. But the thing is this, I mean, it's up to them to make their business.
I get it, I get that. I'm just saying,
I mean,
if
would
they,
you put two Burger Kings next to each other? You know?
well, it's like the Burger King McDonald's thing. You know, so I need to know when
Yeah,
they
those
come
are two
in,
different.
you know, is this just a new use? I'll ask. them.
Well, I think we should communicate with our attorney
Yeah.
on that,
I will.
on whether, because if the permit was packed up and moved,
Right,
right, the permittee is an individual.
right, he moved over. to
He owns the
Cornwall.
permit.
Right,
The use was approved in that location.
right,
So that would mean somebody else can get a permit because the use is already approved. So it's a legal issue that needs to be resolved. Because by moving his permit, did he also remove the use?
you know, I think so, but I don't know.
That's, yeah, I mean,
I'll
that's
ask.
beyond my,
What's that, Pete?
I was gonna say, he took that permit to the Cory Walk.
yes.
Right,
Yeah. But basically, that building don't have a permit for anything, right?
Well, the permit though goes with the permittee, goes with the individual.
So that he moved to Cory Walk, so therefore that building where he was.
But the use we approved in that building. You know
I
what I'm
don't think you
saying?
can assume, though, it's an automatic.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's why you need a lawyer.
Exactly.
Because I can't definitively say, I know that this is, no, I don't.
Just get an opinion from town attorney, like you said.
yeah, you know, when I run into Kevin in the office, I'll ask him about it, so,
Yeah.
because there's two permits left in the town for package store. One is gonna go down by Nardelli's, he's coming in next week for a special exception. That's gonna leave one more open, so.
Because we're allowed 5 by state statute.
Right,
There's 3 existing,
right,
and now you're telling me that there's potentially 3?
But we approved one on 67, that
Right.
before,
That
so
would
there's
be-
only room for one more.
two, we have 3 right now.
Yeah,
We have the red building, I call it the red building, Cory Walk. And the white building down by Seymour Oxford Mine there by the gas station, that's 3, there's 2 more.
we approved
Oh,
one on
right, no, you-
67 already.
You're
which is
right, I'm
4.
sorry, there's 1 left, correct,
There's only one.
correct.
There's 1 left, and again, I guess the determination would be if that use is still valid at the Tommy Case Plaza.
Oh, what's the difference between this and Subway was approved use in the morning? We had to bring the new sandwich shop in and do another use, approve their use.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying. we-
No, alcohol's different though, it's a state thing.
But it's a state thing and the use for the site,
Right.
right? It's a little, everybody's got their hands on this when it comes to alcohol, right? The state still has the say on whether they approve the license, right? How many the town has, a bunch of check the boxes.
Yeah,
but
right.
There's
So,
still a use on that location that has to come before us anyway, regardless.
Right, it has to come before us, but the thing is this, is a use, okay, like in the industrial zone. Right, if I own a contractor's yard, I can turn around and leave, you can come in and have a contractor's yard on that site because it's already, it moves with the land. Okay, that's been, in Connecticut, that's the way it's done. So does the use move with the building or does it move with the permittee? That's the question. And that's, I can't answer.
you know, too, when I spoke to, his name is Steve Hennis, used to be a commissioner, if you were your commission. He retired, does permits now. And he said the state can say, you know what? This is too close to the other one too, so it's at full discretion.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna find out from Kevin.
Yeah, find out, and whether it's Kevin or Kevin that you talk to,
Right.
have them give us.
Yeah, I'll send him an email,
Something that we have, yeah.
you know?
Is there anything else?
I got a
Okay,
question on the enforcement.
yeah.
Did you give Oxford Greens or to change that sign on Riggs and Autumn that sign that used to have a little nice sign that said Oxford Greens Golf Course? Now they got a big blue and white sign up there selling condos. Did they get a permit to change that?
Down here,
Yeah, on Riggs and 67.
they had a sign there before, it got knocked down by a car.
Right, now they got a
Did
big,
they, is that the one they replaced?
they replaced with the same sign, they replaced with a gaudy blue and white one that's selling condos.
Well, I'll bring them in.
Alright.
They own that property.
Yeah, but it wasn't, isn't there regulation stating that, maybe I'm wrong, that it can't be so far off the property, and what is it, 3 or 4 miles from their zone?
They bought that property so they could advertise. It's
And
like,
they have the sign that says Oxford Greens with the stone things.
you're talking about,
That's the one that's gone?
Yeah, that's what it's on.
that one got hit by a car, that was replaced.
The one's all
I'll look into it before I.
Yeah.
gone. I appreciate it.
But they bought that
Because
property.
they had the orange and white realtor sign there. Because that's what that is, it's a realtor.
Right, now it's a big gaudy blue and white.
Yeah, and it was an orange one, but they still had the Oxford Greens, the nice. Yeah,
I'll look into it, no problem.
anything else for Steve? or
Hey, you guys have any questions for me?
Hunter's Mountain.
Hunter's Mountain is in wetlands. When he gets the wetlands approval, I will bring him here, but he has a lot to do for us. You know, I asked him at the last meeting to give us a certified soil and erosion plan. Because he cleared more than 5 acres, he has to get a DEP discharge permit, which he hasn't done. His silt fences are down. There's a lot of stuff he's got to do. All the agencies are out there. He has to replant. He has to replant for us. Our regulations state on a property on the road, if you're within 50 feet and you're going down, you cannot clear cut and dig. If you're going up, you could for ledge. If you're going down, they want to keep the vegetation. He just ripped it. So the report I saw to wetlands says the soil scientists we hired, they want to wait for the vernal pools to pop up. Vernal pools hold frog eggs, salamanders. You know, salamander travels 7 miles. Do you guys know that? Right.
No.
Anyways, so that's good. They happen like in May and June, July.
Right.
Then he's got to come here.
Do you remember back in the day, there was an application, a SEPA intervention was filed. And my always contention was because it was only for a zone change, it wasn't for any building or site plan or anything, it was only for a zone change. And my contention was that salamanders and frogs didn't care what zone they lived in. That should be a matter of record somewhere.
We had a subdivision in Roger, we made a contract with tear out Old Curve, put in Cape Cod Curve, you know what Cape Cod
Yeah,
Curve is?
yeah.
It's slanted, so
So,
the salamanders
so
and
it is
turtles.
climate, yeah.
Same. It's only go
And don't get me wrong, I do support the critters. I mean, it's just that sometimes it's overdone. I mean, there are places, not in Connecticut, but other areas where they've actually built tunnels under roads for the wildlife to move.
If you find a New England box turtle, you're
We
done.
have
They're gonna
Actually-
fence off that area and give it its own.
in Oxford, we do have a large culvert that connects to wetlands that has a stainless steel walkway in the bottom of it for the critters.
I used to have a lot of officers in my house.
They probably ate them up.
Rather like.
Yeah, turtle soup is,
So they
is
say,
a delicacy.
Oh, my goodness.
you know, matter of fact, I've seen some of those where they're gonna put those buildings on.
Anyway,
They're around, Mike can find them.
okay, moving on, minutes.
You've got the 11/16. I whittled that down from 33 pages, I'll have you know. So down to 12.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain? Motion carries.
We don't have the
We
next.
don't have the other ones, but there's literally
Okay, we'll just leave them,
just leave them be.
just leave them be. We have an invoice from our land use attorney. This is problematic. Looking at it. Sorry. You have it in front of you, don't you, Frank?
Yeah.
Okay, these go back to September.
Yeah,
And we asked, and I'm not disputing any particular item here or whatever. Except maybe the one where we went to the selectmen's meeting.
I think that was to be there to discuss, Moose Hill Estates. Because it had to go back and forth.
Mhm. Okay. All right, so
That
I,
was for 1020, but that was, got another for 1013.
Yeah, I mean, I know that he went there, he was going back and forth between the selectmen, if you remember. He had a lot to do with the selectmen for Moose Hill and
for McGarrett.
Magara,
Right, okay,
so he was going back and forth
okay,
in between them and us.
okay.
I'm just saying, what, do you know what I mean? I know that a lot of times he was still working with the Board of Selectmen before he was able to update us.
Sure, cause hearings costing us a lot of money.
Do we have any, like, should we ask Kevin to give us, timely?
That's where I was going with this, is that, I would like these in a more timely manner.
And it's,
At least once a month.
Yeah.
Monthly would be ideal.
yes,
And I understand, I don't know, how his office is staffed and so on, but, if we can possibly get it monthly.
yeah,
We have the right to go the applicant on some of this stuff,
Oh, yeah,
like on the show cause, and it's in our regulations.
I was gonna ask that.
Because I don't have any applications for 40 Hunters Mountain Road.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at, 5 months here?
Right.
yeah, that seems,
So from a cost point of view, it's not a lot of money per month, but I'd like to see it per month,
yeah,
rather than trying to go back and remember, geez, what did we do?
Want me to make a motion to accept, or do you have any questions?
Does anybody have any questions on this?
No.
I'll make a motion to accept, the invoice as presented.
All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? And the motion carries.
The only comment would be that, we would ask Kevin to start submitting, invoices monthly.
This way we don't get stickers.
yeah.
Okay. Other business, we have that stuff down on Riverview Drive.
Yes, I didn't have a chance to talk to Kelly. Every time I went to see her, she was busy and vice versa.
Okay. All right, well, let's leave that until next time.
I'm sorry, there was one more thing about Meadowbrook Estates. Jimmy Gallagher's gonna go
Oh,
out
yeah, yeah.
there next week to do a bond release on that. I don't know who, someone asked.
I asked you about that.
Okay,
Okay, so,
I spoke to Jim, he said. he
okay,
has
so
to-
that's in process. Okay. Again, the Hunters Mountain Road thing, which we already talked about. So is there any other item the commission deems necessary for discussion? All set? Everybody? No, good to go? All right,
Motion to adjourn?
all in favor? Opposed, abstained, motion carries. And for those online, thank you for attending.
Thank you. Dan, are you all set, Dan?
Hi, thank you.
Oh, no, I haven't.
All right, hopefully we'll see you next time.
You will.
All right, I'll talk to you.
Say, you got something
Oh, yeah. I thought maybe I grabbed